Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today bringing you guys and gals One Punch Man episode 8 and 9 review. I am a little bit late on this one, especially for episode 8, but the King of Lightning has been busy taking care of a few things. Life is calling me. The heavens have spoken. So, the heavens. So, listen, alright? I'm here, it is what it is. Episode 10, I'll be on point. Now, first of all, alright? Episode 8, let me focus on episode 8 first, then we'll go to episode 9, because episode 9, I want to say a few things that obviously, like, they're true. They're 100% true, but some folks aren't gonna really like it, which I find odd, because it's like, it's reality, nigga. Like, it's reality. It's like gravity, but whatever. Let me focus on that later. Episode 8, basically, it's the Deep Sea King invasion upon J City. Now, the whole thing about the Deep Sea King is that this guy, he has, like, various stages. And some folks hypothesize that he's actually, like, dragon level. Though he is demon level because it's raining. So he becomes stronger the more water there is. And he starts off at, like, a lower demon level, like high tiger, low demon. Then he ends off at like high demon. But it was raining. Now, at the end of episode 9, he does state that if he was in the ocean, he'd be far stronger. So, some folks theorize that he could actually be dragon level. I'm not too sure about that, but the fact of the matter is that the Deep Sea King does have various stages of power. We get to see some A-class heroes do their thing against him. We get to see Stinger, we get to see Lightning Max, and they're not bad. Like, they're not bad heroes. They're higher than Sneak, whatever his name was, and he got one-shotted. Now, Stinger did, but he fought against a few of the Deep Sea folk to begin with, number one, and then he got blindsided by the Deep Sea King because he was getting all cocky. She's like, yeah, I beat a god-level threat, and then fucking, right to the gut, he was done. Lightning Max took a few blows, and then he was done. Now, those two excluded, you have Putty Prisoner. Oh my god. They didn't show it in the anime, but in the manga, there is a chapter. I'll put it in. Actually, no, wait, should I do that? Because it's not a legal site if I do that. That maybe get me in trouble. I don't know. But there's a chapter in the manga where you can actually read the events that unfold pertaining to Sonic and Okama Prisoner when they're actually in the prison. So go read that chapter because it gives you some substance before they appear in front of the Deep Sea King. So, but based on the episode, you know that they were in prison, in the same prison, and Putty Prisoner, Okama Prisoner, he was in that prison, alright? So he's in there for life, for whatever reason. Probably dealing with pretty boys. And he couldn't control himself, and, that's gross, alright? This guy tossing the salad 24/7, 365. Yeah. So, moving on from that, he gets his ass destroyed. He did, honestly. Because the Deep Sea King has fantastic regen. And not only that, but he takes the attack combination, like the flurry of punches, that the Angel Rush, that the Okama Prison does upon him, and he mods it up. He makes it even better. He's like, you have to make sure for every punch you have the intent to kill, like this. And, like, you can see, like, that was a nasty rush. Like, you could see the imprints on his body. Animation for that was actually very, well done. And overall, it was pretty damn good. There were scenes that were very dynamic and scenes that were actually very sharp as well. So, I mean, like, the usual. Like, nothing, it's always crazy. I was gonna say nothing too crazy. No, that's false. It's always crazy. It's always fantastic, but that's the usual. That's the norm. Now, here's the thing. Sonic. This is good for his character. Sonic is actually able to fight on par with the Deep Sea King, even when he transformed, without his weapons. So if he had his katana, if he had his shuriken, all this stuff, there's a high chance that he actually going to be in the Deep Sea King. Therefore, we can say that Sonic, he is S tier. That to me is very obvious. In fact, when they first have their confrontation, he says that a D-level threat fight against an S-class hero was a joke. It was comical. And I'm like, bro, like Sonic, he looks very feminine, but he's not a bitch. Straight up. And some folks have pointed out, like, Sonic is actually a chick in disguise, and clearly that's not the case, but, I mean, like, the dude does look like a chick half the time, and it is kind of weird. But whatever. Fuck that, alright? The whole thing here is, obviously, Sonic has the skills. He has the skills, and he ran away to get his stuff, but he was actually late. Alright, Speed Town Sonic wasn't fast enough, ironically. So when I think about it from a characterization standpoint, I think Sonic had the best characterization. Because when you look at Putty Putty Prisoner, I mean, he's an Okama, alright? He's straight gay. Like, nothing more to it. At this point in time, there's really nothing more to it. When it comes to the Deep Sea King, he has more characterization later on in episode 9, but in this episode, he's basically establishing that, you know, he's the main threat, everyone's a joke, I have a lot of killing intent and whatnot. So that's really him. You have some characters, like for example, Lightning Max, who was on his toes, he's very cautious, and when it came, you know, when push came to shove, he was able to, well, he tried to fight, but obviously he lost. You have Stinger, who went like mock delusional at some point after he beat those sea folk. Like, yeah, that was a god level threat, my popularity is gonna raise, and so on and so forth. Though there is one character that did get some characterization that was above the others, and that was My Mask, Sweet Mask, because you find out how he perceives how these situations should be handled by heroes, where the fact that you had 2 A-class heroes be defeated by this creature, you had Lightning Max and you had Stinger, they were defeated, and how he said it was a disgrace or something along those lines, and how a hero has to defeat the opponent elegant and gracefully, always reassure the populace that they're going to be there to protect them and whatnot. Like, very Superman-esque. Come in there and save the day, no problems. However, reality is far from in this particular case. So, when it comes to a My Mask, even though he's, you know, sitting at this studio talking about his song or movie or whatever, he is explaining to the people listening in on how a hero should be, on how a hero should operate. So, characterization from that standpoint, you could say that both Sonic and the My Mask got the most characterization. And finally, when it comes to overall story progression, it's basically setting up the environment. That's what the episode does. It sets up the environment for Moomin Rider, Genos, and Saitama. Those 3 in particular. Because those 3 wrap it all up. Putty Putty Prisoner, Lightning Max, Stinger, not so much. So, episode overall rating is going to be a good plus, and I'll leave it at that. Good plus to great, only because the Deep Sea King, the dude is actually a pretty good villain. I mean, he's basic. He's basic as shit in a lot of ways. But in other ways, not so basic. And I do enjoy the Deep Sea King. Now, moving on to episode 9, and this is where a lot of folks are going to be like, oh my god, listen, okay? Oh, good lord, listen. First of all, animation overall was, as usual, fantastic, but there was one scene where I wasn't too sure if it was good or not. Like, I really wasn't too sure. It was a scene where after Genos gets basically blindsided by the Deep Sea King after he first punched him, the Deep Sea King, he regens, and he's like, no one's going anywhere. He runs after the people. Genos fires a booster, and the way he was flying through the air, it looked really, really strange. Like, we went back to the N64 days. And yet, when you zoom in on the Deep Sea King's face, you could see, like, all the details and shit. Like, the shifting of the skin, the vein in the eyes. I'm like, it was at the very beginning. I was like, is this scene good or bad? Like, I wasn't too sure. I was not too sure at all. That scene, like, it had a very insane ending. But the opening, where Genos actually flies across the area to the Deep Sea King, I was like, yeah, what the fuck was that? But the rest was fantastic. Now, when it comes to story progression, basically the Deep Sea King is done. He's out of there. And now you have Saitama, who is a B-class hero at the bottom. He has to work his way up once again. Then, of course, you have his new buddy, Moomin Rider. They're mates now. And then it ends off after the ending with, of course, a new threat that is looming upon the horizon. That's even greater than the Deep Sea King. So, story progression-wise, we made leaps in Episode 9. Episode 8 was more so setup. Episode 9, everything's all said and done, and now we move on to something greater. And that's the way it works for the most part when it comes to this series. So, Episode 9, story-wise, was a lot better than Episode 8 for story progression. When it comes to characterization, so here we go, okay? Characterization. Genos, again, like, Genos just can't seem to catch a break. Like, every time he doesn't focus on the enemy at hand, he turns away, he gets blindsided. It happens so many times now, it's like, bro. Like, and he even says it himself. Like, when am I going to learn my lesson? Like, when are you? When are you? So, but at the same time, Genos, he is supposed to be the representation of that type of character in these types of series, in these types of manga and comics across the world, where he's always getting blindsided, he's always getting distracted by something, he gets caught off guard, boom. So, it happens time and time and time again. So, that's number one for him, because that's really it for his characterization. Number 2. Moomin Rider. Now, here's the thing that you gotta understand about Moomin Rider, okay? Moomin Rider is a C-class hero. Let's start there. He's a C-class hero, and the C-classes, their task is to handle, like, mid to low-tier tiger-level fuckers and take care of burglary, arson, maybe murders, I'm not too sure. But they're handling, like, the low-level stuff. That's C-class. And they have weekly quotas to meet. Moomin Rider is literally the king of the fodder. There is no other way to say it. Moomin Rider is literally the king of the fodder. Nonetheless, Moomin Rider, stand-up pedaling, hauls ass into the area, Justice Crash, and he's able to distract the Deep Sea King, give some time for Saitama to show up there and do his thing. And in the process, he shows unbelievable courage, a huge set of cojones, despite the fact that he knew that he was going to lose. He has this speech where basically he admits, like, you know, he's not worthy of being B-class. He knows that no one expects him to win, but it's not about winning or losing. It's about the moment. It's about the here and now and me fighting you. One-on-one. That's what it is about right now. So, the dude, for that alone, for that courage, for understanding his role in the world around him, he gets the slow clap. Alright, he does. Moomin Rider, he gets the slow clap. Because that was very admirable. Where other C-class heroes, they're running away, he's like, nah, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to do my thing. Even if I fail, even if I die, I'm going to try my best to save these people. And I have to give the guy the slow clap. Because, again, like, that is some very courageous, some very admirable shit. However, Moomin Rider sucks. Okay? He sucks. Why? Because in this verse of One-Punch-Man, power is paramount, alright? It is the de facto standard power. When you have Demon class, when you have Dragon class, when you have High Tiger class villains and threats that are always coming at these people that have that can end entire cities in a blink of an eye, you need to have substantial power. And what you notice here is that the characters of main focus, such as Saitama, such as Genos, such as Sonic, a lot of these characters are powerful for a fucking reason. Because they're the characters that can get the job done. Moomin Rider cannot. Moomin Rider is an admirable individual, but at the end of the day, he can only go so far. And going so far basically means getting his ass kicked. And what it boils down to is the simple fact that even though Moomin Rider stalls for time, well, okay, you can't say like he was doing it on purpose, but that's what it winds up boiling down to. He winds up fighting against the Deep Sea King as a means of allowing more time for Saitama to get in there. But the fact of the matter is that if Saitama couldn't be there, if he couldn't show up, guess who's dying? Everybody. Everybody. You could argue that without Moomin Rider, Genos may have died. We're not too sure. Genos is fucking sturdy as shit. I mean, he's taken so many shots. He's been destroyed so many times over. It appears as if, like, as long as the head remains, he's okay. So you don't know if Genos would have died if Moomin Rider had not shown up. But if Saitama doesn't show up, then they're all guaranteed dead. Moomin Rider, Genos, all the civilians, they're all fucking dead. And that's the main difference here. Power is paramount. So, do I like Moomin Rider? The dude ain't bad. Like, he ain't bad at all. Alright? When he's doing the speech, you got the emotions high and shit. And I'm like, okay, Moomin Rider, let's go, baby. The Deep Sea King shuts it down. Do you understand that Moomin Rider's speech, which had the emotions high as fuck, which got folks hyped as shit, the one punch of the Deep Sea King stopping all that momentum, letting folks know this is reality, welcome to the real world, bitch, that had just as much, if not more impact. Holy shit, man. Oh my god. I mean, the speech was heavy as shit. He's coming in there like, yeah. Like, oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. All right? And then that is an example of how power is paramount. Because the speeches, the cheers, all of that falls to the wayside of power. That's how this series is designed. This is not some slice of life bullshit. This is One-Punch-Man. Alright? It's One-Punch-Man, for fuck's sake. And what amazed me, what amazed me at the time was I was reading some of the live reaction comments, and people were blinded. They had the dun-dun-dun-dun going on. People done fucked up. And I shit you not, when they used Fairy Tail as a reference, I was like, what are you talking? People in the comment section literally said shit like, well, if this was Fairy Tail, Moomin Rider would have been the Deep Sea King. What? No. 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 Fucking Madoshi. Madoshi! Holy shit. Come on, guys. Come on. Y'all done fucked up, alright? When you have to bring Fairy Tail as a reference, y'all done fucked up. Come on. But I give credit where credit is due. I really do. But I'm not gonna go overboard with the credit. I can't do that. So, I mean, granted, sometimes I do that. But I try not to. And in this case, I'm not going to. because it's fairly obvious where he stands, and he knows where he stands, and that's why it's respectable, because Moomin Rider knows that he sucks. He knows it. He fucking knows it. He knows his role in the world, so he can try and bust his ass like Saitama. He can do the Saitama regiment and be up there with Saitama, so his role changes. But you see where Saitama had to go. You see how hard he had to work in order to reach that level. That what the fuck, holy shit, God level. And when you see the character interaction between Saitama and Moomin Rider, what I see, because a lot of folks said that Saitama looks up to Moomin Rider. No. What I see is something else entirely. What I see is Saitama looking at Moomin Rider and remembering his previous self. That's what I see. That's why when he sees Moomin Rider, he has to show respect. Because Moomin Rider is someone that has the earnest fire to be a hero. And he treats him as such. That's why when he collapses, good fight. Good fight. It is what it is. Alright, don't come crying to me. I didn't make the series. It's not my series. So hey, I'm just pointing out the reality. So once again, for the last time, Moomin Rider, I'll give him the slow clap. He has the balls, he has the cojones, and I respect that. I respect that. I really do. But he sucks. And we can move on from there. So, characterization for him was fantastic in many ways. And then Saitama later on towards the episode where he becomes B-class, and then you see him interact with Moomin Rider, sharing the love between two people that are genuine heroes in their own respective ways. Because Saitama, at this point in time, can't rally the people like Moomin Rider can. He can't do that. But when you actually need the job done, you're looking for Saitama. You ain't looking for Moomin Rider. Just saying. So, that being said. Oh, and also, even though I just said that, I forgot too. Saitama once again taking the burden. Where he, and again, like, it shows you just what it means to be like a genuine hero. But at the same time, like, he's being a genuine hero, but when it comes to the view of the populace, it's so anti-hero. Being called a cheater, being called a fraud by the people, by his peers. So the heroes that did fight against the Deep Sea King, and they did lose, that they can get some recognition as well. So that is very important because, again, it does show you the type of guy that Saitama is in earnest. That being said, overall characterization, I think I'm done with that one. There is some characterization for Amai Mask, but it goes on the same lines as the previous episode, so it's not really like a big deal. And that's really it. So episode 9 I thought was fucking amazing. Amazing plus. If no. It was a yo. Yeah. It was a yo. It was a yo, because I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that King wasn't hyped. King was hyped. King was feeling it through and through. The episode did die down, but it still made some overall nice story progression, especially when you had some, like, you had that one guy who was questioning the whole hero system in general. Because how you have this C-class hero take out this monster, but yet S-class heroes like Genos, like Pretty Prisoner, fail miserably. Or though Genos, he did not fail, alright? Genos, he pulled some nice shit, alright? He pulled some very nice shit, but you know what? Characterization. There is one thing I did forget. The Deep Sea King himself. Because the Deep Sea King, like more so than Ruthless, what you see in the episode, he shows it by means of spitting the acid at the girl, trying to melt her. But, Genos saves her. And then he explains it to Saitama when he's, like, before he dies, where he says, I am the king of the sea. All life originates from the sea. Therefore, you can say, I'm the king of everything. I am the king of the world. And so, we'll end the video on this note. the Deep Sea King, his ruthlessness in reality, or I should say more so than his ruthlessness, it is number one, him believing that his species supersedes humans, Homo sapiens. So if a human steps on an ant, is that human being ruthless in that sense? Like, you could argue no, because ants are an inferior species. Like, ruthless would apply to maybe like your own species or an equivalent species. So the Deep Sea King believes that, you know, his sea folk are superior in every way, shape, and form to humans. And the second thing would be his sense of entitlement, because he is the king of the sea. And as he explained, the sea is where all life stems from. Therefore, he should be the king of all life. So he's entitled through royalty, and he believes that he's superior to humans because his sea folk are superior in general. That's what's probably going on with the Deep Sea King, and I do like that about his characterization. So that's it, I'm done. Of course, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. I know some folks are going to have a hard time with the whole Moomin Rider thing, but that's just the reality, and it is what it is. So, King of Lightning, rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Peace. Have a nice goddamned day.